No good. At this moment, Xiao finally sensed that something was terribly wrong. His expression suddenly tightened, and an endless wave of fiery energy ignited around him. In the blink of an eye, he shot toward Cai Lin's direction. Currently, Cai Lin was restricted by the power of the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python, and she couldn't unleash even a fraction of her strength. In this state, Cai Lin appeared to the extraterritorial evil clan like a weak woman unable to even lift a chicken, easily disposable. If this guy hits her, the consequences would surely be tragic. Ryup. The small-bodied demonic infant had just leaped toward Cai Lin, showing a grotesque grin with sharp fangs. However, his attack did not pose any hindrance to Cai Lin. At that moment, an orange-golden flame began to rise in front of Cai Lin, forming a solid barrier of fire that intercepted the demonic infant's small body in midair. Even from a distance, the demonic infant could feel a heart-pounding sensation from the flames. This flame was too powerful. Sacred flame? The evil attack from the demonic infant was instantly repelled by Xiao fiery blast. The demonic infant's small feet stood stiffly in the air above the altar, sharp fangs erupting from his face as he stared warily at Xiao. This human's aura seemed more terrifying than anyone he had ever dealt with before. Wasn't the strongest member of the Nine-Tailed clan supposed to be the clan leader who entered here earlier? That guy had long turned into his food. Now, Xiao power was more terrifying than even the Nine-Tailed clan's leader. Are you okay? Having repelled the attack, Xiao scolded, his expression serious. Beside him, Daichi understood the subtle relationship between them after witnessing the scene. I'm fine. This guy must be wielding a special soul control technique. Be careful. Cai Lin shook her head, feeling as though her soul had just suffered some damage. She immediately retreated quietly with Daichi. Big sister, will Xiao brother be in danger? This guy is very strong. It seemed that due to some inherited power from the Six-Tailed clan, Daichi's face grew serious. She could sense the strange power of the demonic infant that penetrated the soul, and she was extremely worried about Xiao situation. Don't worry, this guy is strong. Cai Lin had no concerns about Xiao strength. Her beautiful eyes slowly focused on the still nine-tailed demon fox statue, seemingly looking for clues related to the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python's power. Sacred flame controller? Then let's play. Boom. The words had barely left his mouth when invisible forces began to spread around the demonic infant, as if the space itself were corroding, leaving traces of decay and destruction. Peak of the fifth reincarnation stage. The magic energy here. The fifth demon suppressing prison. Soul demon evil infant prison? So, you are the extraterritorial half-demonic god, the evil-eyed demonic infant? Through a simple deduction, Xiao finally confirmed the true identity of the place. Quite a big deal. The evil-eyed demonic infant's dark, emotionless eyes flashed with a strange and soul-binding light. The power of this light was impressive, but Xiao could already sense a dangerous aura from it. This guy, at the mere peak of the fifth reincarnation stage, combined with the soul power he had just tapped into, actually made Xiao feel a slight twinge of fear. This guy's understanding of soul power was incredibly advanced, far stronger than Xiao himself. Evil-eyed orb. The evil-eyed demonic infant seemed to sense that Xiao flames were not ordinary. The moment he unleashed the attack, he launched a very intense offensive. A pair of pitch-black pupils filled with an eerie, sinister aura. Countless evil blood vessels spread across the pupils, and even a brief glance could send a tremor through one's soul. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Instantly, the 8-layered spirit palace inside Xiao began to surge. It seemed to sense an immense threat as endless soul energy poured out, subtly filling the space around them. Truly impressive soul control skills. Xiao looked at the evil eyes before him, stamping his foot violently in the air. An invisible ripple of soul energy surged, shaking the void. Soon, even Cai Lin and Daichi could feel a sharp sense of pressure spreading from Xiao, filling the air. Behind Xiao, the void slowly began to distort, and a pair of flame-enveloped eyes appeared quietly behind him. From a distance, they seemed ordinary, but under the protection of the sacred flame, these sacred flame eyes were far from simple. You're also using the soul power of the spirit wandering realm? Interesting. Really interesting. At the same time, the void in front of the evil-eyed demonic infant suddenly began to twist, and a massive black vortex appeared without warning. Within the vortex, monstrous demonic energy surged, and inside it was a gigantic white bone corpse. From the skull of the corpse, a chilling aura slowly emanated. Focus. Seeing this, the evil-eyed demonic infant sneered, his sinister eyes filled with overwhelming pressure, as he slowly directed his gaze into the empty eye sockets of the black skull. In an instant, the skeletal corpse seemed to come to life, its body flickering with a faint soul pressure. The eerie white bones and skull were surrounded by countless ghostly-colored lights, their flickering interspersed with an endless, ominous demonic aura. From a distance, it resembled an evil corpse beast that had just crawled out of hell, exuding a terrifying aura that made one's heart race. It was a different kind of pressure compared to anything Xiao Yin had faced before, because this was the fluctuation of soul power. What terrifying soul control ability! Xiao Yin couldn't help but be slightly moved, his eyes twitching at the sight. His own soul power was several times stronger than that of the evil-eyed demonic infant, but when it came to manipulating soul power, he had only ever applied it to alchemy. In terms of using soul-based attacks, Xiao Yin was practically an outsider. Soul. Spirit of the evil corpse. The evil-eyed demonic infant's voice remained cold, as though he were slowly outlining some terrifying destructive attack. This half-demonic god has some truly terrifying techniques. From a distance, Cai Lin turned her head, naturally able to sense the powerful pressure emanating from the skeletal giant shadow. The power of a soul attack was invisible and colorless, making it nearly impossible to defend against. Eyes of the sacred flame. Seeing this, Xiao Yin didn't hesitate, and his eyes of the sacred flame slowly traversed the void, heading straight toward the skeletal giant shadow to strike. Kill. The evil-eyed demonic infant grinned sinisterly at the sight of Xiao Yan's actions, then coldly uttered a single word. Suddenly, ripples of weak energy spread through the previously calm void. A beam of soul light, almost perfectly blending with the void, flashed out, tearing through space. In the blink of an eye, a terrifying destructive force surged forth, silently spreading and rending everything in its path. Soul attacks were invisible and colorless, nearly impossible to see with the naked eye, let alone defend against. Boom! A powerful soul attack erupted from the skeletal giant shadow, striking Xiao Yan's position without deviation. Immediately, Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed, and his body seemed to be struck by some ethereal force. In that instant, his entire form shriveled and collapsed, giving off a chilling, disturbing aura. Xiao Yin. Seeing this bizarre scene, Cai Lin couldn't help but snort coldly. Her slender fingers moved, as if preparing to call upon the power of the tin-colored, heaven-swallowing python. There was no way Xiao Yin could be defeated by the evil-eyed demonic infant with such terrifying strength. This was practically impossible. Not bad. Soul power, but a pity. With a crack, despite the minor injury to Xiao Yan's body, he appeared completely unfazed, his movements unaffected. As his hand seals shifted, Xiao Yin swiftly performed a short-distance space-shifting technique. In the blink of an eye, his injured form transformed into a burst of white mist and disappeared. With another flicker, a ghostly figure appeared around the evil-eyed demonic infant. His surrounding power surged, instantly bypassing the skeletal giant shadow's interference, as the eyes of the sacred flame silently descended to suppress the evil-eyed demonic infant and erase him from existence. No. At that moment, an expression of disbelief filled the evil-eyed demonic infant's face as he stared in terror at Xiao Yin. The one he had just struck had been nothing but a soul clone. Moreover, while Xiao Yan's current soul attack wasn't particularly powerful, the divine power infused with 7 types of sacred flame made the evil-eyed demonic infant feel the cold, chilling breath of death for the first time. Boom! A fiery storm of flames erupted, instantly eradicating both the skeletal giant shadow and the evil-eyed demonic infant. The gap in strength, combined with the pressure of the sacred flame, left no room for resistance. Boom! After their bodies were completely destroyed, a dark, black aura surged and dispersed. Xiao, however, unleashed a powerful devouring force, spreading throughout the space. These energies feel strange. It's better not to devour them recklessly. Cai Lin observed with concern. Don't worry, it won't be a problem for me. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. With that, Xiao began to purify and devour the energy, but the soul power of the evil-eyed demonic infant, despite being in the spirit-wandering realm, had almost no impact on Xiao. To break through to the great perfection of the spirit-wandering realm or reach the perfect stage, it seemed that only rare opportunities could help him achieve it. It's over. We can now summon the nine-tailed stone statue. After dealing with the situation, Xiao turned to Butterfly Chi. Butterfly Chi nodded, and behind her delicate figure, a phantom image of a nine-tailed fox crawled out. As soon as it moved, the lifeless stone statue in front of them suddenly radiated an overwhelming dark light. A faint, ancient fluctuation from the distant past began to revive slowly. Xun'er, Butterfly Chi's body seemed to be pressed down by countless layers of gravity. As the words left her mouth, a desolate voice from the ancient past echoed through the entire mirrored world. It seemed to tug at the hearts of the three of them. Under the influence of this voice, their souls seemed to vibrate slightly, and in that instant, they felt a vague sense of drowsiness and dreaminess. Everything in front of them appeared like a beautiful dream, so ethereal. Nine-tailed demon fox. As the forces gathered, an elegant and graceful energy figure emerged from the altar's stone statue. The woman's appearance and figure were strikingly similar to the nine-tailed demon fox sculpted in the stone, and even more lifelike and captivating. She wore a snow-white robe, and her face, unlike Cai Lin's cold demeanor, radiated an enchanting, beguiling charm. Each expression, each smile seemed to carry subtle power, gently emanating and quietly controlling the hearts and minds of everyone around her. If one weren't careful, they might fall under her soul-stealing influence. Xun'er, your soul cultivation is profound. Suddenly, Xiaoyan's body surged with energy. After a sharp movement, he shook his head and couldn't help but admire her in his heart. The figure before him was probably just a residual energy avatar, but Xiao could vaguely sense the true strength of the ancient demon beast, the nine-tailed demon fox, from her lifetime. It was likely around the sixth reincarnation stage. Although her soul power had just entered the spirit-wandering realm, this unique and formidable soul control method still made Xiao envious. At present, Xiao possessed the sacred flame for his fire attribute, and naturally had no worries about fire-based combat techniques. He also had the Thunder Emperor's sacred hall for his lightning attribute. As for water, wood, and even soul power, these were the things Xiao lacked. Achieving the highest tier of celestial techniques was almost priceless, which made Xiao feel burdened. Although having multiple attributes was advantageous, the resources and time needed to nurture them were no less than that of others. Of course, the rewards were proportional to the effort. Are you the one who controls the sacred flame? The nine-tailed demon fox woman gazed gently at Xiao below and spoke softly. Even in such a gentle posture, her words carried a soft, seductive allure. Anyone lacking resolve might easily fall under her spell. Xun'er, we came here for your inheritance and the Dominator artifact. Looking at the lofty nine-tailed demon fox woman, Butterfly Chi's small face held a trace of stubbornness. She resisted the bloodline pressure from the demon beast lineage and spoke. She knew that to raise her status in the monster realm, she had to first improve her strength, and that strength could only be obtained through the inheritance of the nine-tailed demon fox. I see your talent is exceptional, but my inheritance is not something just anyone can easily obtain. The nine-tailed woman spoke casually, her words tinged with a hint of helplessness. Xun'er, I can. In that moment, Butterfly Chi displayed a side of her that was different from before. She gently extended her long, jade-like hand towards the nine-tailed woman, trying to resist the bloodline pressure and show her determination. Before deciding on my inheritance, there is one more thing. Our clan's ancestral teachings forbid us from accepting outsiders, not to mention the chaotic nine-tailed bloodline you carry, but even the two people with you seem to have ill intentions. As her words fell, the entire void suddenly twisted. The nine-tailed woman's gaze subtly shifted, and some strange power seemed to emerge, her eyes warily scanning Xiao and his companions. These two were surrounded by an oppressive energy that caused this residual power to stir restlessly. Such a fluctuation was not something just anyone could possess. Senior, you really have sharp eyes. We may not be of the nine-tailed clan, but we have dealt with the great elder of the Qingwan clan. We didn't barge in recklessly. We're here with a purpose. Xiao Yan's frown eased as he looked at Cai Lin beside him and spoke carefully, word by word. What is it that you seek? Hearing Xiao Yan's words, the nine-tailed woman narrowed her eyes slightly. Do you recognize this? Xiao Yan took something out from his storage ring. This, the power of the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python? At once, the nine-tailed woman's eyes widened in shock, filled with rare astonishment, as though she had sensed an aura that filled her with fear. Tin-colored heaven-swallowing python? At this moment, a dazzling, multicolored light slowly surrounded Cai Lin's body, shimmering with tin colors. As the gaze landed upon her, a wave of bloodline pressure from a higher being caused Butterfly Chi's delicate form to shudder. The overwhelming pressure seemed capable of crushing her effortlessly. It felt as though the figure before her was no longer a cold, aloof woman, but rather a terrifying existence harboring a violent demonic beast within. How can you possess such power? The nine-tailed woman's expression grew serious, her eyes narrowing as she stared intently at Cai Lin, even her breathing becoming filled with astonishment. I am the queen of the Medusa clan. By chance, I acquired a fragment of the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python's power. Cai Lin and Xiao Yan exchanged a glance, their eyes locking without any attempt to avoid each other. The tin-colored heaven-swallowing python? I never expected that my soul fragment would still encounter such an ancient beast. After a moment, the nine-tailed woman's eyes brightened, her palm gently moving as if she were activating something. Boom! As she performed her hand seal, a tremendous and savage aura erupted from Cai Lin's body. The tin-colored halo that had just appeared transformed into a tin-colored serpent shadow, coiling with a terrifying presence on Cai Lin's delicate form. Through the vibrant energy halos, Xiao Yan could see that the tin-colored serpent scales on the serpent's body were slowly warping and shedding. Under such circumstances, Cai Lin, who had always been calm, was now sweating heavily. Her body trembled uncontrollably, and it felt as if her eyes and soul were being slowly devoured by some kind of creature, trying to seize control of her mind. Senior, is there a way to break this? Seeing Cai Lin in such a state, Xiao Yan asked, a hint of pain in his voice. The power of the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python. It seems to be constantly devouring your strength and vitality. Am I right? Even the companion snake spirit within you has been consumed. Have I made a mistake? After a simple test, the nine-tailed woman's eyes lit up, clearly revealing that she understood the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python's power, and within moments, she had deduced the issue. Senior is correct. At that moment, Cai Lin could not help but glance at the nine-tailed woman a few more times. It was evident that these things she had desperately hidden had been seen through by her. This nine-tailed demon fox truly lived up to its reputation. What? Even your companion snake spirit has been devoured? Such a serious matter. Why didn't you mention it to me? Upon hearing the nine-tailed woman's words, Xiao Yan suddenly felt a surge of anger in his chest, his eyelids twitching violently. The Medusa clan's companion snake spirit was undeniably important. It was comparable to the human heart. If the companion snake spirit had been consumed by the tin-colored power, it was undoubtedly a disastrous event for Cai Lin. After all, the Medusa clan's transformation relied heavily on their companion snake spirit. Now, this situation clearly hindered Cai Lin's potential for advancement and posed a serious threat to her life. You have too much on your shoulders, and I didn't want to worry you too much. I'm fine. Cai Lin lightly bit her lip, slowly forcing the tin-colored power back into her body. However, her body continued to tremble. Clearly, such a simple action came at a great cost. You're fine? Does that mean the next time I see you, you'll already be? How am I supposed to explain this to Xiao and the others? Seeing the sudden argument between the two, the nine-tailed woman and Butterfly Chi exchanged a glance. Enough. Haven't they told you that she hasn't been hurt yet? You came to the right place. Although this place can't completely solve the issue, it should be able to temporarily delay it. The nine-tailed woman's expression changed slightly, and her gaze fixed on the mirrored space around them. Please, Senior, guide us. Xiao nodded. This is my soul-forging technique. By forging the soul, it can temporarily suppress the tin-colored power inside her. However, to completely resolve this, you'll need to head to the center of the demon realm. But that place can only be accessed by fate. Even a realm lord cannot enter. The nine-tailed woman's memory seemed somewhat fragmented, and when she mentioned the center of the demon realm, her entire demeanor turned strange. Go! Soul! Forge! Suddenly, ripples of invisible energy surged from the calm mirror-like void. This soul energy, unlike anything Xiao had used before, seemed to carry a peculiar force unique to the nine-tailed woman, one refined by her special technique. As the power surged forth, it quickly transformed the surroundings into a vast lake of souls. Whoosh! Cai Lin's body hovered slightly, as countless soul waves darted toward her form. However, under the actions of the nine-tailed woman, the tin-colored serpent shadow that had been lurking on the delicate body began to slowly disintegrate and crumble. Rip! In an instant, the seven-colored glow on Cai Lin's body merged continuously with the power of the tin colors, as if engaged in a silent battle. The power of the seven-colored sky-devouring python had already been completely mastered by Cai Lin during the days in the Do-Chi continent. However, the difference between the tin-colored sky-devouring python and the seven-colored one seemed to be just 3 colors of power, yet the gap between them was as vast as a chasm. This continued for a long time, with Cai Lin steadfastly holding her ground. Despite how terrifying the soul-forging technique was, she showed no sign of fear. Soon after, Cai Lin was shocked to notice that the fighting spirit and reincarnation power, which had been sealed and solidified within her limbs and bones by the power of the tin colors, had now begun to show slow signs of movement. The nine-tailed woman's soul-forging technique had actually managed to temporarily restrain the power of the tin-colored sky-devouring python, even if it was only temporary. Cai Lin had previously used countless resources in the boundless fire domain, but had found no way to stop the spread of the tin-colored power. Now, this individual had easily solved it. Her strength should not be underestimated. Is it useful? Xiao, whose soul power was constantly monitoring Cai Lin's situation, relaxed his tightly clenched fists as he observed her changes. Phew! What a terrifying cold and venomous power! While Cai Lin's danger had been temporarily resolved, the energy projection around the nine-tailed woman became even more ethereal, as though it could completely dissipate at any moment. Clearly, the seemingly simple soul-forging technique had nearly exhausted all of her remaining strength. Thank you, Senior. Cai Lin slowly descended to the ground, feeling the slowly awakening power within her. She immediately spoke with gratitude. Back in the boundless fire domain, Cai Lin had secretly tried many methods, but none had worked to restrain the power of the tin colors. Now, the nine-tailed woman had easily resolved it. This person's strength was clearly formidable. There should be no problem in the short term. Next, it's my legacy and the Dominator artifact. As soon as the words were spoken, the nine-tailed stone statue, which had been standing on the altar, suddenly emitted a low hum. A powerful and terrifying energy surged upward. Hum! A soft, snow-white light slowly descended from the nine-tailed woman's body. In an instant, this energy clone seemed to have exhausted its last ounce of power, becoming faint and dim, before completely dissipating. The snow-white light shot down from the place where the clone had vanished, streaking toward the nine-tailed stone statue with a terrifying speed, as though unlocking the treasure hidden inside the statue. In just a moment, A strong tremor spread out from the stone statue, as if the last of the nine-tailed woman's strength had summoned some ancient objects hidden within the statue. The nine-tailed stone statue trembled violently, and after a moment, two ancient objects floated out from within, hovering in mid-air, slowly releasing an ancient and terrifying aura. Looking up, one could see a pure snow-white light sphere, which seemed to contain a monstrous, alluring, and terrifying demon power. A faint nine-tailed illusion coiled around it, as though guarding the vast power contained within. Clearly, this was the legacy of the nine-tailed demon fox. Without the bloodline of the nine-tailed fox clan, outsiders would find it almost impossible to obtain. As for Daichi, although she was not from the nine-tailed clan, she had been taught by the six-tailed beast under the black fiend dragon wolf. It would be easy for her to devour it. Her goal was probably this legacy. Lord Xiao, this thing? Daichi's gaze remained fixed on Xiao and Cai Lin. She quickly asked. The legacy of the nine-tailed demon fox was the ultimate goal of her journey. You can take it. However, the nine-tailed clan has many prejudices, and given that this place is filled with endless demon energy, the evil aura in the demon-suppressing prison has long been eliminated. It might be a good idea for you to meditate here and comprehend it. Xiao shook his head slightly as he looked at Daichi's serious expression. He wouldn't forcefully claim or deprive anyone of such an opportunity. Moreover, for someone at his current level, the legacy of this caliber was not of much use. Thank you, Lord Xiao. Upon hearing this, Daichi's face lit up with joy. She quietly reached out her hand to grasp the brilliant snow-white light sphere, feeling a nearly identical power surging within her. Without any hesitation, Daichi immediately sat cross-legged, activating the power of her demon beast bloodline to begin devouring and absorbing the legacy. Seeing Daichi so thrilled, Xiao could only shake his head helplessly before turning his attention to the other light sphere atop the stone statue. On the other side, there was a stone box, only about the size of an arm, but tightly sealed. The box was etched with countless pairs of compound eyes. Even just gazing at it for a moment seemed to draw in one's mind and spirit. If nothing else, the Dominator artifact hidden within was most likely the 9th of the 10 supreme Dominator artifacts of the monster realm, the Demon Soul's Eyes. Xiao gently grasped it in his hand, and a scorching soul sensation spread through his fingers. Such a Dominator artifact holds such terrifying power. If combined with a powerful practitioner who uses eye techniques, the power would probably be heart-stopping. I don't need it, and you've promised someone else. Cai Lin seemed to sense Xiao subtle thoughts and directly shook her head to refuse. Cai Lin knew Xiao thoughts. Xun'er had the five-legged golden crow and the sacred flame. Yun controlled both the sacred flame and the Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword. But only she and Mu Yingying didn't have a suitable Dominator artifact. Cough, cough, cough. Rejected so decisively by Cai Lin, Xiao gave a dry laugh before storing the Dominator artifact stone box away, and his other thoughts quickly vanished. I know your intentions, but I can't control this. This should belong to the ancestor of the Nine-Tailed clan, the Demon Soul's Eye of the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox. While the Medusa clan also uses eye techniques, the Nine-Tailed clan's demon souls are mostly seductive, while we Medusas control the world's most poisonous and evil venom. The 10-colored heaven swallowing python's pride seems to prevent me from controlling this Dominator artifact. Seeing Xiao rare kind gesture, Cai Lin couldn't help but smile and explained her situation. Well, during our trip to the demon realm, maybe I can help you find a suitable artifact. Let it be. All right, since the Nine-Tailed Demon Palace has ended, we should leave now. Qingwan Elder, I've lived up to the mission. Xiao and Cai Lin left the Nine-Tailed Demon Palace and instantly returned to the star-picking tower. But at this moment, besides the Nine-Tailed Qingwan, there were many other Nine-Tailed clan experts with unfriendly expressions. These experts all glared at him fiercely. Their strength hovered between the first and third reincarnation stages, making them a formidable force in any other place. The atmosphere in the area became quite strange. It truly is the Demon Soul's Eye. I, the Elder, thanks Xiao Domain Lord. The Nine-Tailed Qingwan hurriedly took the stone box Xiao handed over and, After using their nine-tailed clan's secret technique to investigate, she smiled in delight. One more thing. The nine-tailed demon palace is actually the fifth demon sealing prison in the Great Thousand Worlds, sealing a half-demonic god. Your clan leader has already fallen, both body and soul extinguished. Xiao spoke with a tone of regret, seemingly helping the nine-tailed clan indirectly, as Cai Lin's tin-colored power was temporarily suppressed by the nine-tailed demon fox. This action could also be seen as helping her descendants. Utter nonsense. Upon hearing Xiao words, the experts behind the nine-tailed Xun'er snorted coldly, and invisible waves of energy suddenly erupted from the surrounding void. Come, drag him away and deal with him according to clan rules. Xiao Domain Lord will be a distinguished guest of our nine-tailed clan in the future. If things continue like this today, don't blame me for being ruthless. Xiao was just about to take action when several powerful shadows appeared, capturing the hostile experts. Since the mission is complete, we won't disturb you further. Farewell. Xiao held a favorable impression of the nine-tailed Xun'er's actions, but he had already spent a lot of time here. It was now best to quickly return to the Black Fiend Dragon Wolf's camp. Once it awoke, he could enter the heart of the demon realm and eradicate the tin-colored power once and for all. Domain Lord Xiao, please wait a moment. Perhaps I know how to completely suppress, or even refine this power and make it useful. Just as Xiao was about to bid farewell to the nine-tailed Xun'er, a figure suddenly emerged from the nine-tailed demon palace. The voice caught everyone's attention, and they turned to look. As everyone's gaze fell upon her, a layer of snow-white light suddenly radiated from Butterfly Chi's delicate form. The snow-white light spread out, and Butterfly Chi's eyes flickered as she grinned, looking at Xiao and the others. Her smile unexpectedly contained an irresistible seductive aura. Such speed. Xiao furrowed his brows. Although the aura Butterfly Chi gave off wasn't exactly dangerous, it was certainly not something to be underestimated. Butterfly Chi, have you accepted the nine-tailed clan's inheritance? Some of the high-ranking members of the nine-tailed clan, who were surrounding the nine-tailed Xun'er, visibly changed their expressions. Yes, I've received it, but this immense power can't be refined in such a short time. After speaking, a hint of seductive charm flickered in Butterfly Chi's gaze as she looked at Xiao once again. Butterfly Chi, what did you just say? Xiao couldn't help but speak in a deep voice. I wonder if Domain Lord Xiao has ever heard of one of the wonders of the demon realm, the Four Symbols Cave? Butterfly Chi's eyes glimmered as she smiled and spoke. The Four Symbols Cave? Xiao brow furrowed slightly. Xiao had long heard of the mystery of the Four Symbols Cave, but now, hearing it from Dai Chi's mouth and seeing the surprised and complicated expression on Cai Lin's face, he couldn't help but feel a sense of bewilderment. You actually know about the Four Symbols Cave? At this moment, a hint of astonishment appeared on Cai Lin's usually calm and beautiful face. There are countless rumors about the Four Symbols Cave within our demon realm, but all we know is that it is the second greatest wonder of the demon realm. It is a place filled with countless opportunities and dangers. Dai Chi met Cai Lin's gaze, quietly observing her, as if she could see through her thoughts. Lord Xiao, do you still remember the Demon Emperor? Dai Chi added after a pause. The 16th on the Sacred Flame ranking. The owner of the Heavenly Fiend Demon Fire? Memories surged in like a fountain, and Xiao immediately blurted out. Back during his trials in the demon realm, although Xiao had obtained much of the Demon Emperor's power, such as the Demon Emperor's Heavenly Star combat technique, the sacred flame that the Demon Emperor once controlled had mysteriously disappeared. There are many rumors about the Four Symbols Cave, but according to the inheritance of the nine-tailed demon fox, there seems to be something inside that can be used to refine the power of the 10 colors. There is a prescription, though it's only at the peak of the 8th tier heavenly level. It has many uses for this master. And relying on the nine-tailed lord's inheritance, I seem to have sensed the existence of this prescription from this master. When Dai Chi said this, she fell silent and looked calmly at Cai Lin. Upon hearing the words, prescription, Cai Lin's normally composed figure trembled slightly. Clearly, she could hardly imagine that the inheritance of the nine-tailed demon fox contained such a profound secret. Where's the prescription? In an instant, Xiao Yan's sharp soul perception detected something, and he spoke directly. Nowhere. Cai Lin gently shook her head, her gaze evasive. Bring it out. Understood. After a brief exchange, Cai Lin clenched her silver teeth, reluctantly retrieving a yellowed, ancient scroll from her spatial ring. 8th tier heavenly level, restoration soul-merging pill? A sacred pill that heals the power of the deceased and merges souls? Xiao Yan immediately took control of the prescription, releasing a massive wave of soul power to scan through its effects. It's missing the final ingredient, but that thing is extremely hard to find. At this moment, Cai Lin seemed to have decided to stop hiding anything from Xiao Yan, her brows relaxing. What is it? Xiao Yan furrowed his brows, sensing something. A demon core. Cai Lin shook her head, her chest tightening as she mentioned those two words. To refine an 8th tier pill, a demon core is no longer necessary. It can simply be refined using the power of heaven and earth. After all, Xiao Yan was a genuine 9th tier alchemist, and he couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. But this prescription is different from ordinary pills. Cai Lin suddenly shook her head, clearly having studied the prescription thoroughly. Wait, this is 7th-tier reincarnation stage level demon beast's demon core. Xiao Yan's gaze narrowed sharply as he focused on the yellowed, ancient prescription. His eyes went wide as he noticed a crucial, obscure detail. Why didn't you say this earlier? Noticing Cai Lin's concern, Xiao Yan scolded with a stern face. It turned out she had already found a way to cure and merge the power of the tin-colored heaven-swallowing python, but it required a demon core from a 7th-tier reincarnation stage beast. A 7th-tier reincarnation stage beast's demon core, an existence almost as terrifying as a demon emperor, would be nearly impossible for Xiao Yan to defeat even now, with his current strength. More importantly, such a powerful demon beast was virtually impossible to track down. Xiao Yan couldn't just go to the demon emperor and ask, "Could I borrow your demon core for a while?" Although the loss of a demon core wouldn't completely destroy a demon emperor or other demon beasts, it would seriously damage their foundation, and recovering from it would surely involve a great calamity. There's such a terrifying beast in the Four Symbols Cave? Xiao Yan frowned deeply as he looked at the silent Cai Lin, feeling a mix of emotions. There shouldn't be, but according to the records, there is a beast in there that's a near 7th-tier reincarnation stage level creature, the heavenly evil blood tiger. It should be able to fill the gap left by the 7th-tier reincarnation stage demon core. Dai Chi seemed to know a lot from the inheritance and spoke with a heavy tone. Even a half-step 7th-tier reincarnation stage demon beast could possess power capable of shaking the heavens and earth, and one careless mistake could lead to a tragic end. No way, too dangerous. After hearing Dai Chi's words, Cai Lin instinctively shook her head violently. She understood Xiao Yan's nature. Once there was any glimmer of hope, he would rush forward recklessly. But with Xiao Yan's current 6th-tier reincarnation stage power, facing a near 7th-tier reincarnation stage beast was far too dangerous. In the reincarnation stages, the gap between ranks, even within a single tier, was like a chasm. Xiao Yan furrowed his brows, fully aware of the magical power contained within the term quasi-7th reincarnation stage. With his current strength, it would likely be quite challenging to handle. No way, I'm going with you. After some struggle, Cai Lin had no choice but to compromise. Let's go. After contemplating for a moment, Xiao Yan gave in, grasping Cai Lin's wrist and flying towards the Azure Symbols Cave. Leaving the Nine-Tailed Clan behind, armed with the specific coordinates of the Azure Symbols Cave, Xiao Yan and Cai Lin moved swiftly, reaching their destination in just 15 minutes. As they scanned the area, they found themselves in a gray, eerie expanse. Countless specks of dust floated in the void, subtly forming a complex and mysterious pattern that made the entire space feel magical. In the midst of this expanse stood a solitary peak, its lush trees exuding an otherworldly vibe. A breeze swept through, carrying the sounds of chirping birds and fragrant flowers, as if it were merely a tranquil place. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. However, this unnatural silence made Xiao Yan, usually calm, grow serious. His long-honed intuition for danger warned him that in situations like this, perilous creatures were often lurking. It is said that one of the entrances to the Azure Symbol's cave is right here. Yet, countless strong individuals have entered over the years, and very few have emerged. There must be many mysteries behind this. Suddenly, two figures appeared silently at the tall peak. The Azure Symbol's cave. Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird, Black Tortoise, White Tiger. I wonder which entrance this is of the four symbols. As soon as the words left their mouths, the two quickly moved, effortlessly traversing the peak, leaving behind waves of intense fiery aura as if searching for the entrance.